Hey everyone, in today's video I am going to share 5 super useful Postman tips that both QA and developers will love. These are practical time-saving tricks that very few people actually use. The first tip I am going to share with you is the Beautify feature. Whenever you are pasting a large JSON script, let's take an example of this request, and I have this large JSON script. So whenever you have this kind of unformatted JSON in the body, you can format it for easier reading and debugging. So all you need to do is come to this body tab, and you can click the Beautify button here, and Postman instantly formats this, as you can see here. Let me undo it. You can also do the same beautification option by pressing the keyboard Command B in MacBook or Control B. So I'm going to press the Control B and Command B. This is a MacBook, and Command B works. So Postman instantly beautifies this. So this is a nice, easy to use feature. So anytime you have a JSON and you can use that and format it for easier reading. So the tip number 2 is to generate dynamic data. Let's say you have a Postman request. I'm going to show you a simple request, and this is a GET request, and let's take this request. Let me have a request like this. So you can see that you can actually introduce variables. Previously it had a hard-coded variable like 100 for user ID and timestamp, let's say any timestamp, and if you want to, I get the response. But if you want to remove this hard code and create dynamic data, a random date and a random user ID, all you need to do is replace this with variables. And what are these variables? In Postman you create your own variable name and then surrounded by 2 curly braces, and these variables can be defined in the scripts section. So in the pre-request, Postman has now updated the scripts into 2 sections, pre-request and post-response, and you can use a JavaScript in the pre-request. Click on it, and this is an example JavaScript that gets the current time, and then sets that value into this variable. And same like this user ID, you can even randomize this user ID, but here you can assign it to the variable, and you can reference these two in the body. So when you send, it substitutes a random timestamp, and you can see here 2017 5554, and when I execute the request again, you can see here this is actually the content that is sent, the same content that is appearing in the response. So this is a very useful feature whenever you want to dynamically set a different value in each request. So thereby it will automatically Postman will automatically inject the value, calculate that value before sending the request. That's why it's called pre-request, and it substitutes the value, calculated value. So it's super useful for automating your test data. And the next tip I'm going to show you is the visualization script. And when you send a GET request, you get a JSON response, and you can click on the visualization tab, and you can see the response in a nice formatted way. Previously you might be seeing this JSON thing, name, username, and all the things in the response that is easier to visualize. But now you can extract certain things from the response as shown here, and then color code it, and then you can even take a screenshot of the response, and this is super useful to read it visually. That's why they call it visualization. And how do I get this visualization? You can do this by the script section, where you have this complex script, which is looks complex, but you can use the ChatGPT or any other tool to provide that JSON, and you can ask the AI tools to generate the script for you. But this is a pretty good sample script, visualization script that I got from ChatGPT. So I just pasted it and it creates this HTML template which extracts the response. It takes the response and then applies it to and the data is stored here, the response, and then the HTML tag and the CSS formatting. As you can see here, the name, email, everything gets substituted, and the visualization is shown here. And one thing about to be careful is when you don't use the script, Postman will ask you, when you click the visualization, it will ask you whether you are allowing the post bot, which is the AI assistant for Postman. By using this feature, you agree. You don't need to continue with this feature if you are concerned about privacy and you don't want to use the AI or some other reason. So you have these visualization options here, and the default is to use the AI, and if you don't want to continue, you can use your own JavaScript and then execute, and then the thing goes away and you see a tab here and you see this. So this is really useful information, easy to read, and you can build tables or visualize as chart. So after you send the request, go to the visualization tab. So that's how you get it. And the tip number 4 is, suppose you have a curl command and you can build a request out of that. Let's say let me copy a curl command, and yeah, I have it in the clipboard, and I'm going to create a new request. When you create a new request, you don't need to paste the URL and the headers and all the things manually. If you have a curl request, all you need to do is you go to the file and then you import, and when you import, you see here the tip that says you can also paste curl curl in the request bar to import. So I'm going to paste the raw curl, and you can see the curl X post, the URL and the content header, the header details, the body details, and then the request name, example request from curl and curl, and in the same collection I'm going to import it, and you can see the example request formed instantly. You have the URL, you have the headers, content type, and the body, and finally you can beautify the body, and there you go, and then you can start using the request. It's that easy. This saves you time when you get especially when you get curl from developer or any other source that you find online. And the final tip is to use the Postman Console. So when you have an error, like something happens in your script or anything, or you want to see the output or what are the other advanced details, all you need to do is Control-Alt-C or Command-Alt-C in the Postman window. So it opens the console, and you can also go to the view menu and you can see the keyboard shortcut here, Command-Alt-C, or you can just simply select this and you get this new window, and you can see the history of all the post request, get request, and if your recent request is at the top. So if you expand it, you see all the details, like what are the headers sent, and the request body that is sent, and what are the response you got, the time, the connection set, the expire, the cache control, and you can see all the advanced sections, and you can also see the network details. You can see the response body, and especially in this example, as you can see, if something happens in your request, you can use the console to see what happened. So it's useful for debugging, and there you go. So you close the window and come back, and that's it. These are the 5 practical tips to instantly level up your Postman usage. So if you want part 2 of this, even with more powerful features, then let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give a thumbs up, share this video, and subscribe if you want to watch more useful videos like this and more. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.